In a new video from Daily Soccer Planet, we explore the inspiring story of Cole Palmer, the boy who went from being rejected at Manchester City to becoming a star at Chelsea FC. A story of overcoming, talent, and determination that promises to leave its legacy on world football, beginnings and fanaticism for Rooney. Chelsea paid more than €45 million for a 21-year-old player that Pep Guardiola and Manchester City allowed to leave the Etihad Stadium after training in the Citizen Club's youth academy. Cole Palmer, who was born in Wythenshawe, Manchester, on May 6, 2002, and grew up adoring Wayne Rooney, Manchester United legend, despite playing in the City youth team, is already nicknamed Cool Palmer at Chelsea for his coolness in the decisive moments of the games, being very effective in the penalty shootout. When I was a kid, I used to watch all kinds of football, and the one that sticks in my mind is Rooney. Ever since I was little, he's been my footballing hero, Palmer said in statements reproduced by the newspaper The Sun. His time at Manchester City. Jack Goggin, in a report in the British newspaper Daily Mail, said that 6 years ago, Manchester City was close to taking away Cole Palmer's scholarship and dispensing with his services in their youth academy. Jason Wilcox, coach of the Citizen Academy, opted for Palmer, but some saw him as a player who did not stand out physically. Cole Palmer, who trained with his father at Holyhedge Park, stayed in the Manchester City Youth Academy with a cheaper and more economical contract than the rest of his teammates. However, life had another blow in store for the young blonde Englishman, who just days before the FA Youth Cup final had to face the news that Jeremy Whiston, one of his best friends and with whom he had been at the Citizen Academy for several years, had taken his own life at just 18 years old after having gone through a very bad moment of mental health caused by his dismissal from the academy. Despite the hard blow that this meant for the Manchester figure, he would lead his team to win that long-awaited trophy for the Manchester City Academy, scoring the winning goal, and he would do so alongside a generation that promised a lot with names like Delap, McAtee, or Doyle. This feat would forever change the career of Cole Palmer, which would only improve by leaps and bounds. What Wilcox had seen in his day seemed to be slowly becoming a reality. The little citizen, who had already made his Premier League debut before playing in the FA Youth Cup final, would also make his Champions League debut in a European temple, such as the Olympique de Marseille field. In addition, he would be key in winning the Premier League 2 with the under-21 team. The 2021-2022 season was set to be the one of the definitive explosion as a member of the first team, and even more so when in the first game of the season that corresponded to a Community Shield final, Palmer was in the starting lineup and would play the surprising amount of 70 minutes in the 1-0 defeat against Leicester City. Just a few weeks later, he would make his Premier League debut against Norwich City. Everything seemed to be heading towards a season with a presence in Guardiola's team. This was further reinforced when he scored his first goal for the seniors in a Carabao Cup match against Wycombe Wanderers, which would be a sample of what he would do days later in the best club competition, the Champions League, where he scored again, this time in matchday 3 of the group stage against Club Brugge. Injuries and frustration. However, a foot injury kept him off the pitch for 3 months, thus slowing down his learning and progression with the first team. Luckily, he was able to return in time to help the U21s achieve their second consecutive Premier League 2 title. The 2022-2023 season will be the first in which he forms a permanent part of the first team, but he would do so in a less participatory way than the young citizen promises perhaps expected, playing only 7 games as a starter in all competitions and with quite reduced participations in the rest of the games. This would mean that he had worse numbers than in the previous season, with only 1 goal and 1 assist, something that could be disappointing given the enormous expectations that the talented young blonde had. Despite this, no one doubted the quality that left foot possessed, and he was called up by England's under-21 national team to play in the European Championship in Georgia and Romania. There, Palmer would be absolutely key with 2 stellar performances, one in the semifinals with a goal and 2 assists, and in the final against Spain with the assist for the only goal of the match, thus taking home an international title with his national team. In the 2023-2024 season, his season could not have started better, starting in the Community Shield final against Arsenal, where he would score the only goal for his team in a match they would lose. His good performance made him a starter again in the European Super Cup final against Sevilla, where he scored again to give his team the equalizer that would take them to penalties, where they would win the trophy. Cole Palmer thought that season could be his breakthrough at Manchester City, especially after Riyad Mahrez left, but the signing of Belgian Jeremy Doku changed everything for him. Manchester City, who needed to comply with financial fair play, sold Palmer eager to play minutes after Guardiola confirmed to them that Cole Palmer was expendable. During his time with the Citizens between 2020 and 2024, he played a total of 41 games with 6 goals and 2 assists. If you're passionate about soccer and love staying informed about transfers, the latest news, and stories of future soccer stars like Cole Palmer, subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with everything happening in the world's favorite sport. His arrival at Chelsea. After that came Chelsea's huge bet on the Ice Boy, which made him pack his bags from Manchester to London for the incredible amount of 50 million euros. There the story would begin, and the reason why Palmer has been awarded this distinction. The bombshell of the last day of the transfer market had landed in London, and he was more than confident that he was on his way to having the season that would consecrate him in the elite of English football. What nobody would have imagined is that the shy boy from Manchester was going to be Chelsea's best player and one of the best in the domestic competition. Palmer would become a starter in the 3rd round of the EFL Cup, and he stayed forever in the starting 11 of his then-coach, Mauricio Pochettino, again. And now he is undisputed in the lineup of the Italian Enzo Maresca. Since then, Palmer would only grow and would begin to make performances that would give much to talk about, such as the game in which he equalized in injury time from a penalty to snatch 2 points from his former team, making his celebration one of the images of the season. Cool Palmer, as they call him in the blue dressing room, was born. And Palmer wasn't going to stop. He wanted to continue making people talk, and boy did he do it with 2 performances that would make it clear that he had arrived to stay among the greatest. One against Manchester United, where he would score a hat-trick to win 4-3 against the Red Devils, and an amazing poker against Everton just a few days later. Chelsea's season had been the opposite of Palmer's, who, as if that weren't enough, apart from playing like an angel, had goal-scoring numbers from the area, and only Erling Haaland had surpassed the Blue Star with 27 goals to Cole's 22. In addition, Palmer had entered the more than select group of players to achieve 30 or more direct goal participations, along with a certain Cristiano Ronaldo and the Golden Boot for the 2nd consecutive year, Haaland. Of course, if he continues at this pace, he will be more than profitable for Chelsea, and we could be talking about one of Guardiola's big mistakes, who at Cole's insistence agreed to let him go, saying that he was expendable. 2024-2025 season and records. Currently in the 2024-2025 season, he continues to demonstrate his great contribution and quality, accumulating 11 goals and 6 assists in 15 games played, which have Chelsea in 2nd place in the standings, a record that went down in the history of the Premier League. On September 28, 2024, the exquisite 22-year-old midfielder scored 4 goals in 20 minutes to help the team, led by Enzo Maresca, beat Brighton 4-2 after an electrifying first half at Stamford Bridge. And it is a record. The player born in Wythenshawe, a district of Manchester, is the first player in the history of the competition to score 4 goals in the first half. In that match, the visitors had taken the lead with a goal from the Dutchman Jorginho Rutter 7 minutes into the first half. However, Palmer had other plans and started off with his dream afternoon. After a shot that hit the post and a goal disallowed by referee Peter Banks, the playmaker scored the equalizer in the 21st minute, turned the score around in the 28th with a penalty, and then extended the lead in the 31st. And it did not stop there. Minutes later, Cameroonian Carlos Baleba scored for Brighton. But Palmer, in a fiery mood, appeared again before the break, and in the 41st minute, he scored his fourth and Chelsea's fourth. The match calmed down in the second half, and the score did not change. A promising future. Palmer is undoubtedly destined to be one of the top stars of world football. At a young age, he has already shown what he is made of. In the coming years, he could lead the English national team to win important titles, taking into account that he was a finalist in the last European Championship. With his great career now a reality, he could very likely fight to win future Ballon d'Ors. Could this be the beginning of a career worthy of the Ballon d'Or? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, Cole Palmer is here to stay. Leave us your comments or suggestions down below. We'll be reading them.